7 Rules for Studying English by AJ Hoge. Rule 1 is learn English phrases, not individual words. This one, just like all the other rules, it's very simple, very easy. What is the rule? The rule is always learn phrases, not individual words. So phrases is a group of words. You can have a whole sentences, but it's even a part of a sentences. So for example, let's say you have the word hate and you want to learn this new word. You can, just write down the word hate, and then you will find in your dictionary the meaning, and then you will memorize it. That's the old way. That's the kind of textbook way, the school way. In school, you probably remembered a lot of individual words. It's not a good way to learn. Much better if you learn a phrases and group of words. Where do you find this phrase? You find these phrases in the Real English podcast that you are listening to, in the Real English storybooks that you are reading. You listen to Real English, and when you hear a new word, you write it down. Or when you are reading a storybook and you see a new word, you write it down. But don't just write down that word. You want to write down the whole phrase. You want to write down the whole phrase or sentences. That's it in, all of it. Why we do it? What's the power of phrases? Number 1. Phrases are easier to remember because they have meaning, they have a kind of a picture, a story. So you have all these extra pieces of information. All this extra information helps you remember the meaning of the phrase and the meaning of that word. Number 2. When you learn phrases, you are learning grammar also. You are not only learning an individual word, you are learning grammar, you are learning how to use that word correctly. You don't need to think about the grammar, you don't need to know the rules, it's automatic. This is another way that native speakers learn English grammar, because when we are children, we learn with phrases. So, this is very simple rule. Our last rule in the course, very, very important. Every you find a new word, always write phrases always write phrases or the sentences. Never study just the word, always the whole phrases. Do this every time. Your grammar will begin to improve. Do this every time. Your grammar will begin to improve much faster, and you will remember the vocabulary faster and more easily, and you will use that vocabulary more quickly. Okay, so that's rule 1. Rule 2 is don't study grammar rules. Don't do it. I know this is a touch rule for some people because most of your life learning English, you have been told to learn grammar rules. In middle school, in high school, in university, in language school, everywhere in the world, grammar. Was it successful? If you have studied English before, in school somewhere, and probably you focus a lot of grammar rules. So my question is, can you speak English easily, quickly, and automatically right now? If the answer is no, why not? Because you have studied English for many years already. Why can't you speak quickly, easily, and automatically? Why not? Well, it's not your fault. Actually, the reason answer for most people is that you studied grammar rules too much. You focused on grammar rules. Why? Because your teacher told you to. Why is it bad to study grammar rules? Well, because when you study grammar rules, when you focus on grammar rules, you focus on analyzing English. In other words, you think about English, you think about the past tense, the present tense, the future, the present perfect, the past perfect. Now, for writing English, that's okay. Why? Because when you write English, you have time. You can go slowly, you can write slowly, you can think about it, you can erase your mistakes. It's okay. But for speaking, there's no time. You don't have to think about the rules. Someone asks you a question and you must answer immediately. You have no time to think about preposition, verb tenses, possessives, all the stuff you learn. There's no time. How do native speakers learn grammar? All the never study grammar rules. Not not until high school, and we studied grammar rules for writing. In college, native speakers study grammar rules again. Why? For writing. But for speaking, we don't. So how do we learn grammar rules? Well, we learn through listening, through hearing correct grammar again and again. A lot of correct grammar. So the best way to learn English grammar is through input. In other words, English coming in, mostly through your ears, but reading is also okay. But don't read textbook, don't read grammar book. Just read easy book, easy novels, but most of all we will be listening. Don't study grammar rules. If you focus on grammar rules, it will hurt your speaking. You will speak more slowly, you will understand more slowly. So, if you have grammar books, throw them away, put them in the trash. Goodbye, grammar books. If you want, you can burn them, Put them on fire, because they are useless. They will not help you with your English speaking or your English learning and listening. So goodbye grammar books, no more grammar rules. That should make you happy. Rule 3 is very simple, so easy, very powerful. In fact, I usually say this is the number one suggestion, the number one rule, the most important rule and so easy, and it's this. Learn with your ears, not with your eyes. If you want to speak excellent English, you have got to learn with your eyes, with your ears. Listening, listening, listening and more listening is the key to speaking excellent English. It's most important thing. Because if you listen a lot, you are gonna learn vocabulary, you will learn grammar. You will get faster and you will understand better. Listening is the kind of the magic key to great English speaking. So, let me be a little more specific about listening, because it's important how to listen and what you listen to. The most important thing is you must listen to easy English. You might try children's programs. You should understand 95% or more without stopping, without a dictionary. You might try children's audiobooks. Get an iPad, get an MP3, get an or iPod. Listen to English all the time. Listen the morning when you get up, listen when you go to work or when you are at home. Listen when you are at lunch. Listen when you are coming from work. Listening in the evening. Lots and lots and lots of English listening. Lots of easy English listening. Focus on listening, not on textbooks. Not on learning with your eyes. Learn with your ears. It's the most powerful rule. Rule 4 is also very important, so simple, and it is learn deeply. Deep learning. What does that mean? Well, deep learning basically means repeating what you learn again and again and again, many times. You need to slow down and repeat everything you learn again and again and again. For example, people use many lessons. When they buy my lesson, I tell them, you listen to the same lesson set, the same group of lessons, the same topic, every day for 2 weeks. That's right. It's the same lesson, maybe 2 or 3 lessons. You listen to the same ones on Monday, Tuesday, same lesson, Wednesday, same lesson, Thursday, Friday, Saturday for 1 week, 2 weeks. If it's still difficult, then you do it again, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's not a race. You want to learn everything very deeply so that you really learn it, so that you never forget it, so you can really use it. That's deep learning. This is one of the key secrets to speaking faster and to really learning grammar correctly and using it correctly. Deep learning. Repeat everything a lot. Repeat it many times.